Hello kids, it's Teacher Armand here from Language Academy Phuket, and this is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. But first, let me introduce the vocabulary. Wolf, forest, village, mum, grandma, and woodsman. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with her mum in a village near a big forest. She always wore a red cloak and a red hood, and everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. Then one day her mum said, "Your grandma's not feeling well. Can you please take her this little basket of food?" "Yes, mother," said Little Red Riding Hood. Her mum gave her the basket and said, "Remember, don't talk to strangers." "Yes, mother, I won't," said Little Red Riding Hood, as she skipped into the forest. As she was skipping along the path, she saw these beautiful wild flowers. She picked them up, she smelled them, and she said, Grandma would love these." And that's when she heard a voice behind her. "Hello, little girl." As she turned around, she saw a big wolf standing between the trees. "What are you doing here?" asked the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood forgot what her mother had told her, and she said, "My grandma's not feeling well, so I'm taking this little basket of food to her house on the other side of the forest." The wolf was very hungry, so he made a plan, and he said, "Goodbye, little girl," and he ran to Grandma's house. He got there before Little Red Riding Hood. He opened the door quietly, and he saw Grandma in the bed sleeping. He picked her up, and he swallowed her whole with one big gulp. He got into the bed, pulled up the blanket, put on Grandma's glasses and her nightcap, and waited for Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood came to the house, opened the door and said, "Hello, Grandma. Mum said you're not feeling well, so I brought you a basket of food." "Hello, dear," said the wolf. "Come closer." Little Red Riding Hood took a step closer to the bed and realized something's different. She said, "My, what big eyes you have, Grandma." The wolf said, "The better to see you with, my dear. Come closer." Little Red Riding Hood took another step closer to the bed, and she said, "My, what big ears you have, Grandma." The wolf said, "The better to hear you with, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood took another step closer to the bed, and she noticed something. She said, "My, Grandma, what big teeth you have." And the wolf said, "The better to eat you with." And he picked up Little Red Riding Hood, and he swallowed her whole with one big gulp. And in that moment, a woodsman was walking by the cottage, and he heard, "Help me! Help me!" He ran into the house, and he saw the wolf sitting there with a big fat tummy. He grabbed the wolf by his feet, and he shook him upside down. Whoop! Out came Little Red Riding Hood. Whoop! Out came Grandma. And the three of them chased the wolf away, never to be seen again. And Little Red Riding Hood never talked to a stranger again. The end. Goodbye, kids.